what do you get when you cross a know-it-all newspaper columnist with an awkward, unsophisticated everyman?
Yeah. Well, I'm just not sure about that right now.
Welcome to Couch and the Rube.
Welcome to Couch at the Rube, our Thursday afternoon show, presented by our friends at Firekeepers Casino and the Firekeepers iCasino and Sportsbook app. They have revamped the iCasino Sportsbook app. Download it today. Check it out. Get your football futures in. We had that show a week and a half ago with Harry. Our first week college football bets, your own bets, whether you want to bet the Michigan State game, soccer this weekend, the U.S. Open tennis, whatever it might be. Download the Firekeepers iCasino and Sportsbook app today. Jason, how you doing, brother? I mean, I felt all of Fred Human, really good pianist.
The urinal or portal.
What's up, buddy? Football's back.
Finally.
Let's fucking go.
Yeah.
By the way, I saw a picture of the J Batt press conference and all the dignitaries that were there.
Quite a
did
few.
see Fred, yeah. Saw Fred, saw Harns. Who else was there?
There were
murderers row.
There were a couple times where I felt all of Fred Human almost.
How can you not?
It was. I felt all of Fred Human.
It's like, damn, J Batt, here you go, man.
Quite the
Welcome
crew.
to it.
Welcome. Yeah, he actually resigned today as Michigan State's AD. He was like, the hell with this.
After the first, before the first game, that'd be wild.
I don't want to deal with these yokels. Let's.
Holy shit. But it's good to have football back.
It is good to have. It's great.
Got a parlay already going for tonight's game. It's going to bomb. So,
All right, before we dig into these groovy donut Twitter questions, let's dig in what we're betting this weekend, presented by our friends at Firekeepers Casino and the Firekeepers iCasino and Sportsbook app. What are you betting? What is this parlay?
This is something just thrown together. Have no idea. Buffalo plus 17.5 against Minnesota. Row the boat there. Wisconsin minus 17 and a hook against the Miami of Ohio Redhawks. I think they're that Wisconsin. Luke Fickell, he's going to run all over those boys tonight.
So you have Buffalo or Minnesota?
I took Buffalo with the points. I took Buffalo plus 17 and a hook.
Okay.
Wisconsin minus 17 and a hook.
All right.
And for some reason, I took Nebraska money line, which I'm more confident about Nebraska against Cincinnati minus 6 and a hook. I don't know why. So like I said, I just threw this together this morning because I had to have some juice, some action tonight on these games.
I'm on the 6 and hook. I bought it down to 6, but I'm on.
But
I
went money line minus 250 like a wuss bag. I mean, it still pays out. What is this? 5 plus 5 or 410 with his profit boost plus 512.
Very Graham-like move.
I know.
Yeah.
But it's the first week. I'm just trying to get my feet wet. You know, it's a little sprinkle action on tonight's games. I don't want to blow my whole friggin' bankroll on Thursday Night Football. I've done that before. But I'm trying to, more experienced gambler, more mature gambler.
Absolutely. The best thing you can do in week one is come out of week one with your powder still dry. That's the best thing you can do. Because
is powder some like a euphemism?
Yeah, it just means you didn't
put
too much on it. No, it's like it's
well, I didn't know. I've never heard that before.
I've been listening to too many British gambling shows, I think. But that's really good penis. Yeah. Anyway.
Oh, that's a British term.
I've heard it here
British
too.
Gambling slang.
Yeah, definitely. For sure. All right. Well, I think this is going to be a good show. We have a lot of really good Twitter questions from you and social media questions from elsewhere. A lot of MSU football, some good hoops, some Tigers, some J Batt. Should be a good discussion.
Taylor Swift. That's the only thing that gets views on the TikTok from us.
That's right. We should have led with Taylor Swift. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Let's talk Taylor Swift.
So ridiculous. My wife was like, well, you put hashtag Taylor Swift in there. I'm like, well, yeah, that's the whole point. If you're going to talk Taylor Swift, try to get some sort of views off this stupid app. And by the way, did you know that you can buy views on the TikTok? I know, they do it through their app. I knew that there was third party.
So there's not actually real views?
No, I have not purchased. I just was on there looking at what was going on, and it's like promotion center. And I'm like, promotion center is like you can buy up to 8,000 views for $8.99 for the month. That's for the show. And I'm like, but what fun is that?
You remember when Twitter had that back in the day where you could purchase it and all of a sudden they took they took that away and Hondo's dropped by 2/3.
Yeah. It's all porn bots, I know. I just don't know why you'd want to sit there and do that, especially with the views. Because I think you can figure out the views. If all of a sudden you and I bought views for our YouTube videos and stuff, and then there was one that got 8.9 thousand, it's like, oh, wait, what? And then the rest get 1,000.
It seems a little desperate.
It's very yeah. I definitely don't want to do that, but I guess that's the TikTok game, right?
The game. I'm trying. I think I'm with you though. TikTok is just one bridge too far.
It's
I'm on
too
everything
much
else.
ass.
I can't.
It really is. I'm trying, guys, and I'm going to keep putting stuff up there. But I'm talking as far as me scrolling, like I can't. Like as soon as you open the app, it just starts blaring at you. So that's the first sign right there. You should get the fuck off the app, because I like Instagram, and I'm sitting there on the toilet, and my friggin' legs fall asleep because I'm on Instagram too much. That's enough for me. Instagram. I should barely be on that, to be honest with you.
You probably shouldn't be on anything.
I wish honestly, after this show's over, I don't think I'm going to be on anything. I think I'll float on Twitter a little bit, but other than that, get me away. And Reddit maybe.
All right, let's dig into these groovy donut Twitter questions.
Eric Schultz up first. Finish these sentences. MSU fans should feel confident that Aiden Childs has made real growth if we see blank on Friday. And MSU fans should be seriously concerned about Aiden Childs if we see blank on Friday.
So the concern part,
the second one's turnovers. I mean,
yeah, and I think the thing with Childs that I want to see, and this is beyond like just the turnovers. The turnovers is definitely a result, and sometimes that's on a quarterback, sometimes it's not. But I want to see him get rid of the ball quickly. I want to see him like play in sync, on schedule, not hang on to it, not miss opportunities. I want to see him get rid of the ball on schedule. I want to see those sort of moves from him with this group of wideouts, and that to me would be the sign of a maturing quarterback. If you see that, I think it's a good thing. And if it's a lot of in rhythm stuff, and boom, and they get a rhythm as an offense, because that's what they're going to need from these groups. Yeah, they're going to be big plays, and they need some explosive plays, but some of that's the best stuff's going to come if they can be a rhythm offense, and can Childs lead that, and then the other stuff off script will be there here and there. But against Western, if you're going to be a rhythm offense in the Big Ten, you're going to need to do it against Western Michigan. And if you don't see that, if you see him getting sacked, hanging out of the ball, if you see him trying to make too many plays, because you may get away with some of that against Western Michigan, but eventually you won't, right? And so you're trying to measure what you see against Western Michigan against what it's going to look like when the schedule stiffens. So those are the two things I think I would watch, just from mistakes he made a year ago or tendencies he had a year ago that you want to see change.
Matt C. up next. Will Aiden Childs have a positive legacy at MSU? Gut feeling on how his career plays out.
Boy, I mean, are there 2 years or 1 year left? And it's a great question. A lot of it depends on this year and the player he becomes. I tend to lean yes, because I think he's a good kid. I think he's got a load of talent. I think he wants to be great. And, if he was some troublemaker who just had a lot of talent and they were just trying to get him through school and just sort of, get him through this experience and lean on that talent, you'd lean the other way. But that's not the way he is. And so I tend to think he'll wind up with a positive legacy.
Next one from Matt C. Graham, when you met with J Batt, did you or the reporters let him know how much we truly hate Michigan? It's critical he has a spine when that scumbag Ward speaks up.
Yeah, I mean, some of that was during the off-record stuff, but what he asked about from reporters, I don't know if that specifically came up. There was a lot of, talk about stadium things and other things that fans like. You know it if you're the AD at this point, 2-3 months in, how much they hate Michigan. Like, you've talked to people. Like, it's not.
Sure, he's looked it up.
Yeah, and he, one thing I think he's done a good job of is try to immerse himself in what fans are thinking. It's one of the reasons he was asking us about it. It's one of the reasons, he talked about going around and sitting in every area and looking at every nook and cranny in Spartan Stadium at one point to get a feel for different areas and you're sitting, to get a feel for the experience. He's trying, that a big part of being good at that job is figuring out what's actually needed and what the experience is of the people you serve.
So he just sits around. He walked around the stadium and just sat in random seats and stuff.
He spent 2 hours. He sat in the stadium, going to different areas and looking in different. Just trying to get.
How
a
long
feel
did
for
he sit there? I wonder how long he sat. Was that off the record? How long he sat in a seat for? I would be so confused. Off the record, on the record stuff. I'd be. Oh man.
Yeah. I think that's fine to say. I think that's fine to say. He's not. It's. But I think because I think.
But you know what I mean? If you were in the stadium and you went and sat in a chair, how long would it take you? Right. You need to get a vision going.
Yeah, just a minute, maybe, if that.
1 minute.
30 seconds.
That's it.
That's
you
all
sit
you
down
need.
in a chair and you can envision like what the fan needs to see.
Well, you can envision how comfortable it is, the sight lines, different.
Right, I
There's
just
the sun
wouldn't
in
know
here.
how
Yeah,
long.
yeah.
I feel like 15 minutes. I'd have to just,
Yeah, I don't know exactly how many seats he sat in, but he was around the stadium. He was, looking in different areas. He was.
What about the troughs? Was that off the record?
I didn't bring it up. I wanted to. I wanted to be my first question.
Jesus Christ. That's why we have to get him on the show.
Well, yeah,
Ask
if we
about
do,
troughs.
if we do that, we ask about troughs for
Yeah.
sure.
Maybe we can get his number from Sheehan. Matt C. Can I get a go green and go white from you two? It's game week, baby. Couch won't.
Yeah.
Go green, Couch. Go white. Go white. All right, so Scotty Green, he's not a fan. He can't be a fan. Scotty Green's El Camino. What child's season stat line would you pick? Responsible for 25 touchdowns or 5 interceptions? Wow.
I mean, I think he'll go over 5 interceptions. I mean,
Tomorrow?
No, not tomorrow.
Oh.
Yeah. So if you had to pick one and it was safer, 5 interceptions is pretty. I mean, you can have a really good year and you're
So you
over
could have
5
7
interceptions.
touchdowns, 5 interceptions.
Well, he could have 30 touchdowns and 8 interceptions. It's a great year.
Yeah.
But it's just 5 interceptions, a pretty low
How
number.
bad
for a
are those
playmaker.
interceptions?
Yeah. If he has 5 interceptions in 1 week, that's a problem. But 5 interceptions for the year, you'd have to say that's the more likely, just because that's a hard number not to hit.
Steve, next, when and how will we know if MSU's offensive and defensive lines are top half Big Ten caliber?
By Nebraska. I mean, you might know sooner. The problem,
Boston College, right?
Boston College, you get a great feel.
Yeah.
And, and I also think, USC, you'll get a good feel. The thing that still happens early in the season, though, is certain teams you can think are good, and then they turn out to be crap. Sometimes it's the reverse of that. It may wind up that, Boston College is really good in the trenches. Michigan State plays well against them, and that turns out to be a telling game. But we won't know it exactly 100% until Boston College plays more teams, till Michigan State plays more teams. But you will, by the time they go to Nebraska, you will have a great feel, I think.
Max up next. I know that this has been discussed ad nauseum, but what should I expect and watch for at the MSU game on Friday?
I think it's the push, it's the protection, it's the
Stadium upgrades.
stadium upgrades too. Yeah, I mean that those are.
I was promised fireworks, apparently.
It's the execution, I think, is what I'm looking for, and obviously it is the first game of the year. There will be things that aren't great, but at some point in the year, or at some point in the game, I should say, do they get into a rhythm? Are there 3 or 4 possessions in a row where you go, okay, that looks like something, and that's what I'm looking for quite a bit.
Jebediah, what's more likely? MSU football has a surprising good season, say 8 wins, or MSU basketball has a surprising down season?
It's well, I mean, yeah, it's hard
I
to
think
say.
I know what you're going to say.
Yeah, I mean,
8 wins.
8 wins is not an unbelievable number. Like 8 wins is reachable in a good year, and it's not like they made the playoff. You know what I mean? So like, I think it's probably more likely they get to 8 wins than MSU basketball is a down season. If you start talking about 10 wins in playoff, then that's a little different.
Jebediah, who leads MSU football in rushing TDs this year, and how many do they get? My gut is Frazier with 7.
Yeah, Mekhi Frazier, I tend to think he's, and Jonathan Smith has said this, probably their most complete back coming into the season. If Tullis is the guy on the goal line or how that looks, I don't know. But I would guess, I think Frazier and 7 is probably not a bad guess.
Kurt Wisniewski, plan on investing no less than 6 hours a week with Couch and the Rube. How in the hell can Sheehan get a one-on-one with J Batt and you settle for the Western Michigan guy? MSU 38, Western 10, and from Moneybag, Thursday take. J Batt doing a one-on-one with someone like Sheehan, who's more so fan media, in addition to his sit-down with traditional media, is awesome.
Yeah, a couple things on this, because I've been asked about this from a number of people. One, good work by Sheehan, who grinds his butt off, does that show 5 days a week, has built a good audience, is good at what he does. He is fan media. He doesn't hide from that. He's an absolute fan, but he relates to people, and people enjoy what he does, and I hold no ill will or competition towards that. And I think from MSU's standpoint, it shows a little something in terms of understanding audience size, and I'm not talking about us specifically, but a lot of times traditionally, and I don't know if he was on Ebling's show or not, but that first interview goes to like Ebling, right? The historian, and they go to Sheehan.
The historian.
Yeah. They go to Sheehan this time, and that sort of shows, Sheehan's got an audience, right? And and then I'm certainly not going to complain about it for a couple reasons. One, I couldn't do that. I still couldn't have J Batt on now because I was part of that roundtable. It was great. I thought J Batt was good. I wrote a column on it today. But I would still need to sit down with him one-on-one and do a piece for the LSJ before I could have him on the show. It's just the deal I have. I mean, it is
LSJ
what it is.
comes before this podcast.
Yeah, I'm sorry. If the salaries were
sorry,
reversed,
Robin Hook.
Yeah. So there's that, and then there's and I get lots of they give me I just had an interview with sit down with Jonathan Smith that I got that I don't not a lot of other people got that and they give me lots of stuff over there, and there's a lot of stuff they have to deal with. A lot of people want things, the political climate of that. Who do you give it to? That sort of stuff. I think Sheehan was a fine choice. He has a good audience, works his butt off, does things.
It's not a bad choice. People are viewing it as like, well, Sheehan, but he has a lot of viewers and he talks Michigan State. I mean, if you're J Batt, you want to go on his podcast that he's doing, right? It's going to be an interview that you're going to want to do, right? Because the questions are going to be catered towards you. It's not going to be anything outlandish or anything like that.
And he's going to reach the people you're trying to reach.
Right.
And that's an important thing. So I think that's something they noticed. And,
it's not like Sheehan half-asses it like we do,
That's true, too. Yeah.
Moneybag, have you heard anything about the rumor of a Penn State MSU hockey game at Beaver Stadium?
I saw the tweet, reached out to Nate Bott. There was a tweet from, hold on, it was, because I retweeted it. It was
Peacock.
Yeah, not. There we go. Jess Myers and Charlie Walters. Anyway, the Pioneer Press expect announcement later this week. MSU hockey at Penn State, outdoor game February 1st. Had heard some rumors, have nothing official, so we'll see. But that is the talking point. I do not know if that's happening or not, but it is being reported.
Moneybag, who scores the first touchdown for MSU on Friday?
I think it'll be a running play, probably. Who knows? The hell knows? I mean, we're just guessing. But, a running back breaks free. Give him Mekhi Frazier. We'll go back to that.
All right. Munfield Keg. I've got Tulis, Marsh, and Childs anytime TD parlay at plus 601. Tao Tolliver has the best TD odds, but I feel like that move is the books trying to bait people. Thoughts?
There are some opportunities out there if you're into this sort of thing with like TD props with Michigan State. If it winds up being a game where they score 40 points and you wind up with like 6-7 touchdowns, and you can get you can get combinations on there of Marsh and Tullis and Frazier. I think Frazier's odds are below Tullis's odds. There are all sorts of combinations on there that probably work out to parlay similar to 601 with 2 or 3 guys. So if that sort of stuff's fun for you, this is those sort of games to get in on it too. And if you have a better feel, then again, the books. Right now the books can be beat in some ways because they don't know anything and we don't know anything. Right, the season hasn't started. There are all these transfers and like Tao Tolliver is the name, but if you sort of read the tea leaves, it sounds like he's maybe a third down guy. And if they don't score a touchdown, don't hit them up on Venmo asking for your money back. That's the key.
Asshole.
That's the key. Just don't get angry if like one leg of your parlay doesn't hit and you're that. Like, I have mixed feelings about having prop bets on college guys. I actually don't mind it at all, except I don't like the way the fan base treats these like 19-year-olds who don't score.
That's the thing is I don't have a problem with it because when my bets lose, I don't go searching out for how to get a hold of the athlete.
Right.
So I can handle that. Yeah, other people can, I guess. Sunshine Spartan, what is worse, being stuck in a traffic jam or getting a bill you were not expecting due?
Depends how big the bill is.
That is true. Getting stuck in the parking at Live after Live on Saturday, it changed my wife forever because she was giving people double middle fingers. So a bill that, if it's like $800 bill, right?
When Therese does the double middle fingers,
that's the first time I've ever seen her do that.
Do you start to fear like, oh God, I don't need road rage created with
absolutely
other people?
Not? Because if she's doing it, there must be a valid reason for it.
Okay.
Because my wife is the one that balances me out. So if she's doing it, then I'm like, I immediately go, damn, now I can start doing this shit. Like, let's get in on this. Because I'm all down with, like, I try to abstain from the road rage, but, like, I do get really annoyed with people that are terrible drivers. So
yeah, I'm pretty good at being calm. It also, when I was a teenager, I flipped a guy off on 496 in Lansing, and he went by me and tried to run me off the road, and that taught me real quick, like, there were consequences for that. You know, I was like, oh my God. Yep. And so I've always had this, like, it ain't worth it, even when I'm ticked off. My wife sometimes gets a little on edge, and she doesn't. I wouldn't say the double birds. I haven't seen much from her, but yeah.
Well, it didn't help that there was a Michigan license plate, so that brought the wife's other middle finger.
Like I think she was just Michigan or Michigan.
Yeah. It was a Michigan vanity plate.
I gotcha.
So it started with one middle finger, and I think she came up with the other one.
Indeed.
She was just pissed. Everybody was just out of their mind in the parking lot. Anybody with a truck was going over the curb and cutting in front of people. You know, it's just everybody loses their mind in those scenarios.
That is a story we're telling, presented by our friends at Midtown Brewing Company in downtown Lansing. Great place for a date night this weekend. Swing by, just get an American stout, watch some college football, watch a Tigers game. I'm telling you, you'll love the menu there. The chef does a great job. Good drink selection. It's just a place with good character. Good vibes. Look like you put some effort into the place you're going out. It's not some chain or anything like that. Midtown Brewing Company, downtown Lansing.
So what did you do after this guy he chased you down?
No. So he was going by me, and
okay.
I watched him take his steering wheel and try to run me off the road.
So right then and there, you just like, okay, this is a crazy person.
It kind of because I wasn't yet. You
can't double down in that scenario. You double down in that scenario, some event is going to happen, I think. Right?
And I'm 16 at the time, so I'm not that experienced a driver yet, to where I really felt like I can handle myself out here.
Fuck you, old man.
My voice had changed.
Oh.
Yeah, I wasn't. Hey, man.
Fuck you, man. Sunshine Spartan, what game do you have no interest watching this weekend? Mine is Cheat versus New Mexico.
There are a lot of them.
Well, unless you got the Lobos plus 34 and a hook.
That's right.
Yeah, you might want to tune in.
I do want to see what Michigan's going to look like. Freshman quarterback and all. I want to see that.
Yeah.
But there are a lot of middling games that I have. I mean, one thing, when we were doing the picks with Harry on Wednesday, there were about 6 games that seemed good to really discuss. Maybe 7 or 8 total. But we went through 6, and it was easy to find them. But beyond that, there's a lot of games you're just kind of like, yeah. And there are Big Ten teams you're curious about how they do, and you'll pay attention to some degree. But it's also Premier League season, so football's still got to know its place. It's
and U.S. Open
U.S. Open, yeah, U.S. Open tennis. Like watching Ben Shelton last night and some of the match. I mean, it's some incredible matches.
Watched Coco the other night, even though that match took forever.
Okay, just a little bit of if you're listening to this before Thursday night, I do like Coco Gauff to lose as a heavy favorite. Like the underdog, the underdog is like plus 500-ish. Don't hate a little sprinkle on that. I'm Vetchik, whatever her name is. I watched her play the other day.
Why are you so anti-USA, man?
I'm not. Gauff is just vulnerable, and especially on a hard court. I just don't. I don't think her brand is better. She's the Shalik Calhoun of women's tennis. Her brand is better than her ability.
What a comp.
Yeah, there you go.
Jarrett Graham, did you ask Jay Batt about the troughs at the stadium? Are they safe? Also, what is an acceptable amount of threes to take in an open gym if you keep missing them?
Yeah.
Depends if you're on Graham's team, you better not.
It depends on the crew you're with, right? Because if you're playing with a group you always play with, I play with a group Sunday mornings that, like last week, I had a game where I got insanely hot and it was a lot of fun, and oh my God, it was like turning back the clock. And they know that's
surprised that wasn't your first hot take.
It should have been. I thought about it. They know that's in me. So, okay. So in other words, if I have a game where I'm missing, they're still worried about leaving me open and things like that. Like if you're playing with new people, and sometimes you gotta, you gotta know your limits. You gotta go get to the hole, see something drop. Yeah, you gotta. I will say this too, though. It depends on your age and who you're playing with. I was playing an outdoor pickup game with wind and tough rims over in East Lansing. Maybe around a little after the pandemic, maybe just before. I can't remember. Rexroad was there. Windsor was watching. His boys came out, everything.
And that's the taint.
And they combined us with a group because we needed the court, and there was a group of younger guys playing. And I'm missing everything. Missing long shot, everything. I mean, it's just that the wind is bad. I hadn't played in a little bit. The rims were tough.
And we said, would somebody please guard somebody?
And one of these kids that didn't know me from anybody basically said, what are you doing taking all these shots and shooting? And I looked at him, and I'm like, I'm a 40-year-old white dude out here playing with you. I got to be able to do something right. If you see me, understand I'm not just out here for my health. I'm out here because I can freaking shoot, right? Like, understand. And sometimes you just have to put people in their place and let them know, like, come on. Like, there's
How
a
old
reason.
was this kid?
16, maybe.
Punk-ass kid.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Come on, man. Like, Jesus.
Yeah.
Get some man
Teach him
strength.
about bad boys basketball back in the day.
That's right. So the answer to the question is it depends on the group you're playing with and how you approach it. I did not ask J Batt about the troughs. Probably should have.
All right, Scott, when J Batt asked you all about the Ford Field game, what responses did you all give on how the fan base feels about it? Penn State was well attended. Do you think attendance for Maryland will influence future games there? And from Ken Chu. So when J Batt asked you what you're hearing from the fans, did you tell about the issue of the state police blocking the entrances to campus on football game days?
That's a pretty specific one, Ken. And so what I would ask is if that is something that happens this Friday and is an issue and it's still an issue, let me address that separately.
I was office today.
Yeah.
Get it handled before tomorrow night.
Yeah, he was the topic of the final game against Maryland at Ford Field did come up, and I think the general thought was that it's been fairly positive, but if you start winning, people will want that game back at the stadium too. You're not going to please everybody. But he's curious about it, and I think I'll be curious to see where he goes with it long term. The other thing is, and something I brought up was the idea that if the college football calendar changes, that may be irrelevant anyway. At some point, I think week 0 is going to become week 1 to accommodate the playoff. And when that happens, Thanksgiving will no longer be a part of the equation. The students will still be on campus the week before, and then you're probably much more likely to have a campus game, right? It just changes everything.
Scott, do you think that J Batt feels the unique nature of MSU in terms of being a school that is not just a football school, but also a basketball school?
I don't know. I mean, there was obviously appeal. It's a school that I think has some advantages that Georgia Tech doesn't. I mean, Georgia Tech has some rich basketball history, but it's a football school. And a place he felt like he could get certain things done. That's why he made the move, right? Otherwise, you don't. And I think that is – I know as somebody who covers both teams that I really enjoy that. I enjoy the fan base, their ability to move from one to the other. Do I think it helps either program? It probably hurts football in some capacity sometimes, but and I'm sure as an athletic director, there are parts of that you really enjoy, that people are as fired up for basketball as anything else, but just as fired up for football. I have no idea, though. I haven't talked to him about it at all.
It's the American way, except America has gotten soft.
Scott, is the 5th game for a red shirt that Jonathan, what the fuck sentence is this? All right.
Okay, Jonathan Smith. Sorry, I must have deleted something.
Is the 5th game for a red shirt that Jonathan Smith mentioned the bowl game if a team gets to a bowl game?
Yes. Well, and it's also, I think, the conference championship game, I think, is the other thing, component of this. So that's what I was trying to figure out. My understanding is what's changed is that does not count against you. So it used to be one of the challenges of you were allowed to play 4 games and still redshirt as a freshman was, do you play the last 4 of the regular season or 4 in the regular season? But what if your team makes a bowl game or it's an important game and you can't be a part of that? I think they've taken that away. I think it's the 4, the limit is the regular season. I'm not sure the 5, like if you're in a conference championship and bowl game, if you can, I don't think you can play in both, but I think to some degree you can play in the postseason, and that's what he's talking about.
Alan Perlstein next. It appears that the coaching staff has been very impressed with backup quarterback Alessio Milojevic.
Perfect. Nailed it.
Milojevic. If Child struggles, how long would the coaches wait until they put in Alessio?
It would have to be just
these guys' nicknames.
Yeah, no. Well, Alessio's his name. You can't come in with that last name.
Milojevic.
No, it's
Jesus.
Yeah, this isn't.
Where's this guy?
1988 Russia. We can't do that. That's too much. Anyway, I do think, like, just from the conversations this week and the interviews with say Brian Lindgren, the coordinator. I mean, they have no plans right now to even do like a 1 or 2 series with Alessio. It is Aiden Child's game. Now, if it's a blowout or whatever, you'll see Alessio. But they're not going to do what they did with Childs at Oregon State as a freshman. So, it would have to be. It would be such a move. It would rock the team. He's a captain. He's the quarterback. He's the future. Like, he would have to struggle to levels that in multiple weeks it was like, wait a sec, what? And before they made such a move.
Peasy next has a Wednesday guest who's brought on to talk about a program, ever said anything remotely negative about it. Also, no, that's not who Carly Rae Jepsen is, Rube. Not even close. And from John Howard. How did the Rube think that Carly Rae Jepsen was Jeanette McCurdy? He seems so confident, too.
I don't know who either of them is.
Dude, who's Jeanette McCurdy? I thought Carly Rae Jepsen dated Andre Drummond for a minute. I don't know. Not even close. My bad. Are they two white chicks? What the fuck?
I've never heard of either of them. So,
by the way, I think didn't we have one guest? They kind of steered us, right? I'm trying to think of some guest on a Wednesday before a football.
They gave us some negative stuff. Yeah, we've had a couple. It's been rare. Certainly not Doctorman on Iowa.
Oh God, no.
Certainly not Robin Hook on Western.
No.
But yeah, we'll work on that. Maybe that can be our thing. Let's try to find
FAU guy. Did FAU someone?
Yeah,
someone pissed someone off. I don't know. I have to go back in the archive.
I do think that should be our thing. We should go find the most negative person we can find about the school.
Who's the Matt C. of Boston College?
There we go.
Yeah. Gaseous Winston pop quiz. Who dated Andre Drummond? Carly Rae Jepsen or iCarly? Holy shit. I am so sorry.
Yeah.
What is iCarly?
I don't know.
I'm not even trying to be cool. Like, I thought Carly Rae Jepsen was the Call Me Maybe chick. That must be Jeanette McCurdy. And the fact that people are really angry, it's really shocking me here. I'm so sorry.
Never heard of either one of these people.
Yeah, I thought I did.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Gaseous Winston. In your interactions with Coach Smith, do you find him to have a personality, or is he actually a robot?
No, he has a personality. He's just not like this great orator. That's not his strength. He has a personality. I mean, he speaks like Yoda. I mean, the way the sentences end, and sometimes I find that entertaining. No, he has a personality. He absolutely does. It's a dad personality, dad vibes personality, but it's not just gregarious personality. But he absolutely has a personality. Jason, do you think that Bill Beekman?
That's Jonathan Smith right there. Dan Graff, without looking it up, who was president last time MSU beat Ohio State in football? Let me give you some off.
No, I don't need to look it up.
Oh.
It would be Barack Obama, right? Because it's 2015. So, right? I mean, that was the whole... I don't think they've, unless I'm, yeah. No, it's
Barack Obama.
Barack Obama. It's gone poorly for a decade now for Michigan State. So, yeah, the Obama administration. It's been a while.
Mike Maroth of Southern Maine next. In an effort to be more knowledgeable sports gambler, I've listened to 1,000 hours of podcasts.
Boy.
Please rank the following. Andy and Ari on 3, Josh Pate. Cover 3, the bunch formation, the audible, solid verbal. And feel free to add any you listen to that I didn't list.
I'll sometimes watch a little Josh Pate, but I really don't.
I was about to say, I recognize Pate and Cover 3. The other.
Yeah, I don't listen to Andy and Art. I mean, I know them. Every once in a while I'll watch a clip, but I really don't listen to.
Is that soccer?
That's football.
Oh.
College football. These are all like college football. I don't really listen to any of those from a college football standpoint, a gambling standpoint. There's most of I listen to some soccer and tennis gambling podcasts. And in football, there are, a few here and there that, but I don't.
There's some good ones on VSiN.
Yeah.
Those guys in Vegas or whatever.
If I'm really interested in a game, I go find it or I go listen to guys I trust. I used to listen to Against All Odds with Harry and cousin Sal.
Bill Simmons screwed him over.
Yeah, and I still listen to Bill Simmons sometimes and those
Boycott
guys and
Simmons
and some of the Ringer gambling feed stuff. And there's some other things out there, but yeah, I'm not saying any of those aren't really good. If you find somebody you like there are people I like in the soccer and tennis world, and there are some that have gone away that I liked before, but like that, you stick with. There's nothing wrong if somebody's giving you good insight. And the big thing I would say is you want people who are upfront about their wins and losses. Don't try to make excuses for everything. I mean, and you want people who
excuses are the best part of a gambling podcast.
There's some part of the excuse, but what I mean is you want people who are up front. Like they didn't have a good week, they didn't, this is their totals for the year. And then you want people who don't sound so confident that there's just no recourse when they lose, right? The idea is like you can't, if somebody gives you 30 picks, That's too many. That's like you want somebody who's.
You can say that about pretty much anything, though, not just gambling podcast.
Yeah, you want somebody who just you take it as advice, but doesn't.
Do they make fun of themselves?
Yes, yeah, right.
Somebody can make fun of themselves. I trust them.
Somebody who understands that winning in gambling is like 55%. That's what you need. People who
53%.
Yeah, people who promise more than that, you want to stay away from.
Original Dark Mantonio. I don't understand gambling much, so is it worthwhile to bet that Michigan makes the college football playoff and Michigan basketball wins the Big Ten title, whether single or parlay?
It would depend on the juice on that. Michigan to make the playoff is definitely plus money, I believe.
I love how it starts with, I don't understand gambling much, and then you just throw some gambling terms at it.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Yeah, it wouldn't be a bad play.
Juice.
Here's where it would be worth doing. If it improves your oops, sorry, that was my email just came through. I'll turn this down. If it improves your enjoyment of the experience and you have a little something at the end, like Michigan basketball, I think it's going to be pretty good. And Michigan football, if the quarterback situation, there's no team in the conference you say they don't have any chance against. It's a pretty seasoned program. I don't hate it as a parlay. I don't hate it separately. I probably wouldn't take it in football. But if it improves your enjoyment, especially if you're a fan of the team, I don't see any reason with doing both, parlay and single.
Original, unscripted off the top of your head. Nobody holding you to it. Name top 5 finishes for Big Ten football and Big Ten men's basketball.
Oh man, basketball we're just too far out. I can't even.
Would you rather say go green, go white?
No, I wouldn't do that. But I'll give you in football. This is not looking at everybody's schedule, but I think if it was Ohio State, Penn State, Oregon, Michigan's the wild card. I really don't know. I really don't think playing a freshman quarterback is usually very smart if you have big-time goals for the rest of your roster. And maybe Bryce Underwood is just that dude, and there are guys who, are exceptions. But I tend to think that will make them vulnerable to a third loss, which probably keeps them out of the playoff. So that doesn't mean they won't be top 5, but Illinois is one that I kind of like. Washington's one I kind of like up there as well. So could be, go a lot of ways.
Go either way.
Yeah.
Rich Searing next. What is the deal with the Fort Myers basketball tourney? I put in for tickets as soon as it was announced. I live in driving distance, so I didn't need the full travel package, just the tickets. I was denied, and the email said I could buy them with the rest of the public when available if it's not sold out. Shouldn't an alum be treated better than this, or is it because I'm not spending as much as a traveler?
It's kind of weird. I don't get that. I understand there's, they come with a package, but yeah, I guess it's just one of those things when they go on sale for the public.
But maybe they can't be sold separately. Maybe they're allotted the tickets that have to go with the packages. And
it does seem
you break the package up, then you have this other, I don't know, trying to give the benefit of the doubt. But
yeah, it seems like if you are an alum or a donor and you are local to that area, there should be something for you for these sort of events. And that's not great that there's not.
Call Jim Hayos. We'll get those for you. Rich. So many promises of an interview with J Batt, Jeff Smoker, etc., but nothing has materialized as of yet. WTF, Couch? Can you send some of your LSJ goons to strong-arm them into sitting down with you? Just kidding. Would love to see these stories, though. Appreciate you.
Yeah, well, the J Batt column, for now, that'll suffice. At some point, I'd like to do more on him, and although some of the issues, he answered the questions that I really had. And I think the biggest things for Michigan State are, part of it, there's stuff with Spartan Stadium and there's game experience and all that stuff, but it's NIL beyond revenue sharing. It's are the funds going to be there? And then what does that look like? What are they willing to do? You look at the Adidas deal with Tennessee. Those players are going to be just funneled cash at the University of Tennessee. How does Michigan State compete with that? And J Batt says they're going to go be above board and they're going to work on deals with Playfly and their multimedia rights partners, and maybe that's you can do above board and do stuff there that really helps is major money. I don't know. I tend to doubt that when you talk about legitimate NIL, I do not think most college football players have all that much of a market. So I am very curious to see what it looks like next year, not just for Michigan State, for a lot of people. Will there be federal legislation in time? state laws will be in place a lot of places. Now, federal legislation can supersede that. But it'll be interesting because the stuff like with Bryce Underwood that was agreed to before the House settlement terms and the revenue sharing began July 1st, in theory, that can't exist next year. And if it does, and, 7 or 8 programs are playing in that sandbox and Michigan State is not, then it's hard to keep up. So I'm very curious to see what happened. And he answered that. He answered what his priorities, how he sees that going to some degree. He's somebody who's hopeful for federal legislation. So that part of the story, I thought I got answered in this setting.
Rich, what is the obsession with the Hoff with you two? I couldn't stand him in the 80s and really can't stand him now, especially when he destroys songs like The Passenger. It's criminal. I'd much rather listen to the collected works of Chad Latz on a constant loop. Think about it. Give me some Latz while you Google whatever.
I'm dreaming, I'm guided to another world.
Sure you want that, Rich?
Time and time again.
Oh,
Sure you want that, Rich?
yeah.
Give me some Hoff.
Love it.
Detroit
I mean, Latz.
down to Houston.
Can't get rid of Hoff, though.
It's incredible.
We'll have to switch it up with Latz every once in a while. Glenn Smith. Why would you hate Hoff in the 80s, though? That's when he was at his peak. Knight Rider. I can understand ruining your favorite songs.
No, but the songs are what some people don't like.
I get that, but he said he's hated them since the 80s
What I never
Knight Rider?
understood about Hoff, though, is he was so big in Germany and not big here.
That was the whole bit. I'm big in Germany.
Yeah, it was amazing.
We could never figure it out.
No, right, yeah.
Because didn't he go over there when the wall, the Berlin Wall, was being torn down, right? And then so everybody associated him in Germany over there.
I would happily
that was like their Trump.
I would love to be big anywhere. Just big in Germany would be fun. I'd go live in Germany if I was big in Germany. Wouldn't you?
I'd visit.
If you were big there, you'd visit?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't want to be big somewhere where, all the time. That's when you kind of swoop in there, hang out for a little bit, and get out.
If you want to be big with people in your life, by the way, Groovy Donuts can help that. You may not be as big as David Hasselhoff, but you can be popular if you're the guy who brings Groovy Donuts. If you're going to a tailgate this weekend at Michigan State or anywhere else, if you're just looking to camp out on the couch and enjoy college football, make Groovy Donuts part of your weekend. They have one of my favorite donuts back this weekend, the peanut butter and jelly. It's got this tangy raspberry jam, creamy peanut butter icing, chopped peanuts, strawberry drizzle. It is wonderful. Absolutely wonderful. Go to groovydonuts.com to place your order today. You can also swing on by either location, Lake Lansing Road in East Lansing, and also Williamson, 7 a.m. to 1 p.m., Thursday through Sunday. But groovydonut.com is the best way to make sure your order is available.
Glenn Smith next. Do you have any more information on why Dane Fife was dismissed as assistant coach at Indiana University? Fife recently posted that he struggled with laziness, ineptness, and yes men while there. Do you know any specifics about what he said? Thanks.
I don't. I haven't talked to him about it in a while. I mean, I right after it, we chatted back and forth briefly on text, and but not the details of it. I know it wasn't a good fit, and I don't know the other side of it. So it's not really fair entirely there.
Matty B. Izzo said he never wanted to be without a point guard again. Smart. So why are we playing it so dangerously with center recruiting? He's clearly not willing to spend the needed money in the portal for a top center, so not having anyone but one guy after this year is dangerous.
Well, I mean, if the guy they have, if they don't, so let's say they land a top-notch freshman at center, and let's say Jesse McCullough turns out to be a guy they can lean on at center, you're still going to have to go out and get somebody, but they'll then have the top-notch, essentially, if you have a top-notch freshman and you have a center you really can count on. I think the thing about the portal is it happens late, right? It happens after the season. So you have time to evaluate what you have, who you sign, and who you have on your own roster. I don't think it's that he's not willing to spend on the center. I think there are a couple things in play. One, men's basketball is only going to have in the rev share about $3.5 million total. So some places, the idea of the $2 million center, most of which did not work out for those schools, you got to get the right guy, and they got to really be. If you're going to make $2 million in basketball going forward, you better be a serious dude. I'm talking not just as a player, but chemistry, everything. I'm curious to see how a lot of these SEC schools have been spending big go about this now that football and the rev share is there. It's not that there won't be some outside money. Kentucky will work on it. I'm not saying there won't be ways around some of this, but I think the money is going to go down significantly in the SEC.
Matty B, J Batt is making changes in weeks that have been asked for by fans for years. Food, tailgating, stadium environment. What the hell was the holdup from the previous ADs? Listening to your customers. What a concept.
Well, I think the Munn Field thing, was is certainly a quick response. I think, one of the things that J Batt seems to do well is he seems to be decisive. And when there's an idea he wants to do, but I also don't know what was in place entirely or in the works, I should say, before him too. So I don't know if all of these are completely him, but yeah, no, it's there are things that Michigan State fans have wanted that he seems to be listening to, and I think that's a good thing.
Dang it, Bobby. Next, how has J Batt's approach struck you as different than Haller's thus far?
I think there's a little bit more of a decisiveness. But Haller had a lot of the same priorities, right? He did.
Did Haller go around Spartan Stadium and sit in the seats and
Haller cared about all that stuff? Yeah, I mean, I don't know that. I mean, obviously there were issues with Spartan Stadium that hadn't gotten done yet, but some things that were in the works or were in conversation. I mean, Haller was not an idiot, like the way it gets painted on here sometimes. And the thing is, when it comes to NIL and money beyond the rev share, Haller and J Batt seem to have a lot of the same approach. Now, whether the money raised will be different under J Batt, but their priorities and the way they see that philosophically and ethically seems to be pretty similar to me. Now, I think there is a decisiveness to J Batt. I think he's been in this role before. He's been in this role at a school during this era, and had some success. And so I think there's reason to believe he can thread the needle a little bit.
Dang it, Bobby. What is the next day? What is the best style of pizza? Detroit, Chicago, New York, or New Haven? Well, Chicago's got to be last.
You don't like Chicago at all.
Stinks.
Yeah. I like Chicago, but in here and there, the deep dish Chicago.
It's garbage.
I do love a New York slice. My goodness.
What about New Haven? What's up with that? I need a slice from New Haven.
I don't know what that is. I once got caught in New York by the other writers because I walked around. I said, I'm going to get a slice here, and they saw me.
Oh, this is about pizza. Okay.
Yeah, and then I had, sorry. Oh. But I stopped at 3 different places for 3 different slices. I just couldn't. It's like, I got to try this. It's just fantastic.
Without weed? That's the impressive part.
No, I love pizza. I love pizza. Yeah. That is a story almost worth telling, presented by our friends at Midtown Brewing Company in downtown Lansing. If you're listening to the show live or today, a reminder, Harry Potter themed trivia Thursday night at Midtown Brewing Company. They do a great job with those. Another reason to swing on by 402 South Washington in downtown Lansing.
All right, last one from Dang It Bobby. Does Jonathan Smith strike you as more confident heading into this season than last?
I think he's more sure of what he has. Yeah, I mean, I don't know if he's more or less. I think he was confident in his abilities. But
how could you not be more confident than last year, though?
Yeah, absolutely. He knows the school. He knows the landscape. He knows, how
much he hates Michigan.
Yeah, and he knows his roster, and that's a big thing.
Some dude, Couch or Jason, please raise your right hand and promise to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. Oh, this is bringing back bad memories. Number 1. Was Mark D'Antonio correct when he declared football to be a game of inches and that each close game is decided by the outcome of very few plays? Are we doing these one by one, or you want me to just read all?
You read them all.
Okay. 2, if one team knows, perhaps from an elaborate sign-stealing scheme, what play the other team is going to run before they run it, would this be considered an advantage? And 3, so at even once per game, would you say that this practice would have a very high chance of determining who wins and loses a close game? And 4, furthermore, do you think a team that goes 10-2 will be able to recruit better than a team that goes 7-5? And 5, therefore, the benefits of the cheating come in layers that build upon each other. Yes? Some dude, Esquire, rests his case.
This is well put. I've tried to put it this way to people who have asked me about the Michigan sign stealing scandal or
you tried putting it that way with 5 different points.
But I think this is well said. It's basically the idea that it does feed on its success, feeds on itself. So if you cheat to some degree to get a small advantage and it leads to more success, which leads to more success, that's the problem with the argument that they did not have Connor Stallions for those final games when they won a national title, and that's true. And they might have won it without, and they were a really, really good football team. But this is the problem with cheating, is this is why it gave you an advantage, and this is why people will forever see that team as tainted.
I'm not talking about Michigan.
That's the taint.
Andrew Gauthier, how impactful is the punishment on Michigan actually going to be? I'll beat a dead horse and say it. It'll have virtually no impact except to convey to boosters that they can try and buy a title. If they have the bankroll for it, yet Ohio State vacated double-digit wins for tattoos.
Yeah, and I don't think they're going to feel it at all. I mean, there may be little areas where they feel it, and they'll probably have to cut 3 revenue sports. So, there goes men's gymnastics. But no, I'm kidding. But yeah, I don't think they'll feel it a whole lot. I think this was the NCAA being toothless, and that's what it is. Because the thing is, the NCAA said it could have been worse, and then didn't do what it said it could have done. And I think that's probably the end of the NCAA being taken seriously.
Andrew Gauthier, I know this isn't an interview or a guest-driven show, but you guys do have guests often enough. Why not try and get the likes of Izzo, Smith, J Batt, etc. every once in a while, maybe even a monthly very special episode. On this very special episode of Couch in the Rube,
we got Yoda / Jonathan Smith.
Graham interviews J Batt. I don't know.
We'll see.
Yeah. Andrew, riffing on my very special episode idea, maybe try something like Does the Blue Wall Really Exist episode, and get Wojo, a freak editor, and maybe an MSU fan.
See, this I like.
To discuss or share their perspective. I think these are gold summer ideas that can get some serious views and listens.
I like it in September and October, too. I think this is a good one.
You can get Woj on the show?
I think it'll be interesting. I'll ask Woj sometime, next time I'm out with him, if he would be willing to do this.
What a legend. I remember listening to that guy in high school, Stoney and Wojo.
Because obviously you're not going to have Woj on and not ask him about the blue wall, right? So, he'd have to be willing to go
but he
there.
seems like a funny guy. He likes to bust balls, so 100%. I don't think he would take it. You know what I mean?
Woj is one of those guys, if you're out to a beer with him, just a good dude. Great dude.
I listened to him on 97.1 here and there.
Great dude. Big talent.
Gauthier, fall flavors are returning next week at Groovy Donuts. What are you most excited for? Apple cider donuts, pumpkin spice donuts, or caramel apple Bismarcks?
Okay. So here's the thing. The pumpkin spice donut I am a sucker for. I love just the plain fall donut. I love just the buttermilk plain type donut. But the apple cider donuts are fantastic. But the pumpkin spice donuts to me that they do at Groovy Donuts are just, I associate that with fall. And there's so many things about fall I love. One, it's muskox flannel season,
cider mill season,
and Groovy Donut season. And this is So it just, Anyway, groovydonuts.com and swing on by either location, Lake Lansing or East Lansing or Williamston, 7 a.m. to 1 p.m. Thursday through Sunday. They've got tailgating package donuts. They've got lots of things there. Go to groovydonuts.com, check it out, make it part of your weekend, part of your tailgate, part of your event, or just part of your indulgence.
And the last one from Andrew. Graham, how did you develop the sense of your confidence you have in your athletic abilities? I love how borderline arrogant you sound when you talk about athletic prime and your hoop game and your hypotheticals. If I had been 20 pounds lighter, I could have played at X level, etc. I just figured that's your bit,
It is a bit, mostly. I mean, it comes from, having a moment. It's like anybody.
But it sounds really real, too.
Yeah, but if you have a moment where you do well at a higher level and yet you haven't really committed yourself to that level, you think, if I had just this, I could play at that level all the time. It's like, when I take on Grant Long in a 3-on-3 tournament and I know how to play him. It's when, Willie Veasley, who played at Butler on those teams, it's taking him on. Now, he was 15 and I was 23. But it's like you have these moments where you're playing really well and you have some affirmation from another athlete.
You were 8 years older than that dude.
I was. He was 15. Yeah.
Couldn't even drive.
Yeah. But he could dunk, that's for sure. Yeah.
Chris Eastlick, why doesn't college basketball have the same rule as football in allowing players to play a certain amount of games before redshirting?
Yeah, I wish they did, and I wish it was more throughout the season. I mean, you could have a rule in basketball where you can't just save somebody for the postseason, so to speak, but I wish it was like you can play as a true freshman up to 10 games and still redshirting. And we'll get to this point where it's going to be probably 5 years of eligibility anyway, but there are a lot of guys who come in just at garbage time or whatever, and so. But to me, if you knew you had 10 games with somebody, or say it was 10 games in the college basketball season with a freshman, and that was it, you could still feel like you get them in a little bit of garbage time, some games that were out of hand here and there in a bigger role. You could really see where that went, and then you could also make a decision at some point late in the year that if you were almost out of those, is this somebody that we're going to need in the postseason or not? I think it would be a great way of helping guys develop. It would hurt nobody. I don't understand it.
Chris Eastlick, Jonathan Smith seems much more comfortable and upbeat this preseason. Do you get the feeling that's more to do with the talent he feels he has, or that he's finally settled in East Lansing, or both?
Yeah, I think it's all of it. You know the town. I mean, when I sat down with him a year ago, right before the season, and we're just shooting the shit after the interview, like he was asking me like places he could go out to dinner, take his wife out, things like that in the Lansing area.
Front 43.
Yeah, Front 43 Cash.
Maybe Midtown. Depends on what day you go.
Anyway,
make sure you swing by Grippy Donuts too, Jay.
I mean, he was still unfamiliar enough that he was like looking for, I mean, I'm not saying we all need recommendations, and I'm still in this town. I didn't know about Babe's Corner. You know about Babe's Corner in Lansing? I don't mean to know a non-sponsor, but the lobster rolls at Babe's Corner, holy shit.
What?
Yeah, I'm telling you right now, it's incredible. So anyway, I learn about things all the time around here, but I think he knows the place. His family's in a better place, but I think he also knows he has a roster he thinks he can compete a little more with, and I think they were worried about some things last year. I think they knew some things had to go right last year. And that's a little bit of a scary place to be as a coach.
Next one from Eastlick. Smith isn't a guy to run it up, but do you think he'll be more motivated to prove a point more than normal if he can, due to the dismal end to last year?
I don't imagine he'd do that. I don't think that's in his character. I do think he'd like it to look really good for 3.5 quarters. I just can't imagine them. And the other thing is when you bring in backups, I think it's fair to let backups run the offense. If you're going to bring a backup quarterback in, you got to let the guy throw, and I think all coaches understand that. That's not running up the score, but I don't think that's in his nature to do.
Blissed out tuna next. Rube, what is your ideal game day meal spread? Ooh, man, my wife definitely hooks it up nice. Definitely you want to go veggie. We have a veggie platter that you definitely want. If you're going to sit there and watch games for 8, 9, 10 hours a day, you want to have some sort of element of healthy. And, and I actually enjoy some veggies and dip and stuff like that. The wings from Costco, I tell everybody, it's the only thing, you hate when people tell you to try this, try that, but it's the only thing I ever tell people. Costco's food is at a different level, and I don't know why, but their chicken wings are friggin' huge. They're great in an air fryer. They're amazing, absolutely amazing. Some sliders. We have my wife does these ones with the Hawaii buns, those the Hawaiian bun roll buns that she makes little slider sandwiches too.
My goodness, what a
big! I'm telling you, dude, we have such
well. Oh my god!
I know my wife rules, but I'm saying it's either me or someone will come over or something. So it's like 3 of us, and then we end up having this smorgasbord of food. So definitely, yeah. Keep the day going.
Oh, my God, yeah.
Yeah, blissed out tuna next. Couch. Data has grown to be such a core part of sports reporting, yet it doesn't seem to be an important theme in your columns. Why is that? Is it an intentional zag? I don't mind, just curious.
I mean, I use a lot more than I used to, a lot more advanced data, especially in basketball, and different subscriptions I have, not just the Ken Palms, like the herhoops.com, herhoopstats.com for women's basketball, there's Torvik. There's all sorts of stuff I use a lot more.
Her hoops? H-E-R, hoops?
Herhoopstats.com, I think it is. Yeah. It's a good analytical site for women's college basketball. And there's, even in football, there's some stuff. But I also, number one, when I'm writing like quick takes, don't have a lot of time to do that, and some of that information is not available. And I'm also writing to a general audience. Like, one of the things I try to do and I'm aware of is that I want my mom and your mom, and not that moms don't understand football, but you get what I'm saying. I'm not writing to my wife. She wouldn't have a freaking clue about any of it, but I'm writing for my mom in some degree. I want the general audience to understand and enjoy it, and so I try to write it from that perspective. Doesn't mean I don't use it. Doesn't mean I don't use it to back up opinions, but in the writing, it's probably less so than some other people because I'm not writing for this hardcore football or basketball audience as much.
Chris, what are each of you two most excited about for this upcoming college football season?
not talking about this.
No?
No.
The Bill Belichick era at UNC. I can't wait. When do they play? Monday versus TCU?
Yeah.
Oh, man. Just the chaos of it all. 12-team playoff, all that shit.
Yeah, I mean, I can't wait until this weekend. To me, it's like that, especially Michigan State plays Friday.
Go green.
I'll be up by early afternoon Saturday, and just to turn on the games, groovy donut in my mouth.
Huh?
I just love the excitement of the early part of it. But I think the thing I miss most about football season when it's gone is the late night games. It's the late night NBC Sunday night football. It's the college football late night games. That's where that's what I'm looking forward to most.
Professor, does a Big Ten team win another national championship this year?
Well, if Penn State is their best chance, I tend to think not. I can't believe that's going to happen with Drew Aller and James Franklin. Like I would love to see.
Why do you have to throw Drew Aller out first?
I don't think
it's all James Franklin. I mean, his record versus top 10 teams, top 5 teams.
I would love to see a line out there to bet where you could bet Penn State of the field. And you probably want good odds, but I would take it anyway. I would feel okay.
Minus
with that.
220.
I would take that. I would take that.
Yeah.
Would you take that? I would.
Throwing 220 to win 100?
Yeah.
I mean, Professor, how many people is too many in a hotel hot tub? Does that number change if they are all Midwest-based sports writers?
Well, it depends on the size of the hot tub. But if you get a sizable hot tub, you can do four people in a hot tub comfortably without it being sexual. Right? No. What's your?
I mean, yeah, if you have 2 couples in there, but if you just got like 4 sports writer dudes,
so think about
here comes human.
Think about like a Marriott hot tub, the size of that. It's not small. It's probably 3 maybe. It's a good question.
I get in and out anyway, so go ahead, bring anybody. Ralph E. J. Batt making good moves on the stadium and game day. Bet you Izzo led that charge. And building on some things Haller started, concession contract with Levy, new video boards, tearing down central services, renovating suites. Haller was no dummy. The job changed.
Well, I don't know how much. I mean, certain things changed, and he took over at. Certainly, NIL changed, and the type of money going to that changed during his tenure. I also think that the people that he needed to reach for donations and to really elevate the program financially, he hadn't reached. And so whether some of that's on those people, too, and sort of a petulance there, maybe that exists as well. Whether the top donor in athletics for a long time should have a voice in everything when he traded for Bradley Beal, that's a whole nother conversation. But ultimately, your job is to, I think, be malleable and firm, right? As I think what I wrote in the column today. You gotta walk with these people, but you also gotta have a backbone on this. I think it's a tough ask. But I do think Haller did some things really well. I think J. Batt has a great skill set, and so we'll see where this goes.
Spartan 18770. How many of us are actually going to work tomorrow?
I am.
Nobody. Why?
Because it's.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, that is work. It's actually working for you. I forget that.
Thanks. I'll be up till 6, 7 in the morning working. Yeah.
Oh, I know. Grinding, crushing tape, like you guys always do. All right, Spartan, is it just me, or does it seem like us fans are treating J. Batt like we first treated Mel Tucker?
Well, there is an aura, and this happens all the time. There is an aura.
We don't have enough time for all of that.
The new toy can do no wrong. Godlike figure who's come into and that happens. And Mel Tucker early on, and I'll say this too. Mel didn't get that treatment. Mel had a weird start. The pandemic was there and all that stuff. Mel didn't get that treatment initially. It was after the great season in 2021. I think there's just a lot of hope. People want to hope, and J. Batt did a lot of good things at Georgia Tech. And people seem excited about him. So, and he seems like a bright guy. So, why wouldn't you think good things are going to come? I think one of the interesting things he said in his discussion with us the other day is that Michigan State has the horsepower, right, in its donor base, fan base, and all that stuff financially to get things done and resource wise. And in saying that, he puts it on him a little bit then to draw that out of people, to create a place where you can compete in everything. And but that was an important thing to put on the record.
Spartan, off the record, Graham, how many hot and readies are you going to pound down Friday? Hashtag North Star.
0. I would not eat. I gotta be my fittest on Friday. I gotta, yeah. There's
one slice.
There's nothing worse than like overeating and then going to work and writing. It's the worst. You just sit there like, oh my god, I wish. No, you don't. You want to eat sensibly on the. Doesn't mean I won't have a groovy donut. Doesn't mean I won't have a melting moment. Ice cream cookie sandwich. Doesn't mean I won't have a hot dog. But
Jesus, well, you mind? What's a pizza going to do to you? Can't even have a slice.
Well,
this pizza is going to boil that whole thing.
But I have to do those other things. I can't also do pizza.
I know, but you were making it sound like you're just going to go super clean and have a turkey sandwich packed with you or something.
I thought those were clean.
Yeah, maybe. Sparty Barb. Excited for the MSU opener. My favorite that I attended was against USC in 1987, my senior year at MSU. You could tell that the defense was special with Percy Snow and Kurt Larson in the linebacking core. Jason and Graham, what is your favorite MSU opening game that you remember, live or TV?
Do you have one?
Jesus. Yeah. No, not off the top of my head. I'm sorry. I don't remember. I mean, what was the opener in 97? My dad had season tickets in 97.
Okay, the opener in 97 was Western Michigan, I believe. And they beat them they were 42-0 at the half.
What? How'd you know that?
And it was
off the top of your head?
I think the final was 42-10, but it was 42-0. Yeah, they got. Yeah, I know. I remember that day. It was a hot day. I had a zit. I remember. I remember I had this nasty.
It could all be a lie. We have no idea.
But the no, that was. I think the year after that, when I was still going to games with my dad, they opened with Central, I want to say, and Sean Foster, who played at my high school, had a big long run, and I thought that was pretty cool. I'm trying to think, but there have been others. The year the Oregon game, was it the year after Amp Campbell went down, was a really cool. I think that was an opener. There have been a number of them that stand out for sure.
Corey Ostrom, what are the position battles that intrigue you most tomorrow night, and how do you think they shake out?
Running back to me is really compelling. I have no idea how that's going to look, and they may start certain guys, and then sometimes guys are gamers and they get an opportunity. Running back is one I'm very curious about. I think that is probably the most intrigued I am at any position. I'm curious how they're going to use other receivers behind Kelly and Nick Marsh as well. To the previous question too about I think one of the most memorable openers wasn't even a home opener. It was that Northwestern game on the road when Kenneth Walker hit that 75-yard run. That was right at the beginning of the Alan Haller era. I remember that as well. That was but that was one of those things where it sort of changed how you thought about the season pretty quick because it was clear he was going to be something special.
Corey Ostrom, who will be the Tigers starters when the playoffs start, aside of Skubal, who is 2, 3, and 4 if Hinch decides to go that route, and will Olsen be ready?
I'm not. Yeah.
Buenos tardes. It is time for the Detroit Tigers gambling update with Gramanito Couch and Jason Nick.
How did we make it an hour into this show without talking this debacle, this last 3-game debacle?
It's been here it comes.
10-10 starts. And
here it comes. Yeah.
Holy shit.
Yeah, look,
embarrassing.
It's a good question because Mize does not look. You can't have confidence in anybody, and Melton's the one I'd like to see more of. Olsen is Olsen going to be healthy by then? I don't know that he is.
Well, he was on a 60-day IL. When was that?
Hold on. Let's hold on. Give me some Hoff for a second.
I'll give you some lats.
New York to LA, this is what I see. Everybody stops and they're staring at me. I got passion in my pants and I ain't afraid to show it. Show it. I'm sexy and I know it. Come on.
He's out for the regular season, so I imagine he's done.
I'm sexy and I know it. Come on, get into it, guys. Come on, check it out. It's my favorite part.
Me too.
Wiggle, yeah. Wiggle, yeah.
All right.
Yeah, Reese Olsen's not coming back.
We have to go back to Hoff because if we do lats, I'm going to have to play it forever.
Yeah. So who will be the starters? I mean, they're going to have to go with the guys they have, and I don't think they have the bullpen to do the chaos that they had last year. I think you're going to basically go with whoever is more ready. When you
How do you get like swept by the Sacramento fucking A's though in a minor league ballpark?
Yeah.
God damn.
The other thing that's weird is they're talking about, and I understand you're trying to have Scooble beat as best you get to the playoffs, but when they have an extra day's rest, like he'll get an extra day because of a day off. Why wouldn't you just skip Jack Flaherty's next start? Like pitch Scooble every 5. Like I don't understand the point of that. Like they do not.
It's not the Hinch way, man.
Yeah, I don't know, man.
All right, David. What would it take in the Western game for you to muse aloud in Solari's ear? I think this team is clearly better than I thought. Would a 40-point win do it? Or 30?
It would be more heavy.
What would need to happen?
More heavy breathing.
For you to lean over. I guess this team's better than I thought, Chris. At least save it for Spartan speak.
Yeah, it would, like
50-point win?
55 and above. I lean over and I whisper sweet nothings in Solari's ear.
Hell yeah. David Jackson, how can this Tigers team be swept by a craptacular club that was 10 games below 500 when the series began? I mean, damn.
I mean, didn't the Dodgers lose 12 straight at one point and they have a $450 million payroll or something?
I understand. So what?
Yeah.
That's not my favorite team.
Okay. Well,
you want us to stay up till 1 in the fucking morning to watch a walk-off walk. Come on, guys.
It's a combination of it being baseball where this shit happens and the Tigers just not being that good. I mean, and that's.
But when can you just throw that shit out the window, though? It's like, baseball, it's a long season. Like, all right,
It's more amazing looking at their pitching staff that they're in the position they're in. Like they look
looking
like
at the whole team.
They
Sometimes
look like a 65
I'm like, how does this team? Yeah,
it's a 65-win team. I don't really get it.
Next one from David. Will the LSJ send a writer to cover Spartan hockey road games? At least those that are Big Ten league games.
Unlikely. I mean, we would love to, and if the audience warranted it, I think we would consider it.
They just need $20 a month from you, and they'll send
from a lot of you. I mean, I love when we get to do that, and there are opportunities. We do go on the road when it's a big game, and when they're clinching Big Ten titles and the NCAA tournament and postseason and all that stuff. I just think it's going to be, it's one of those things where the audience is yet to show. People love going to the games, and people are fired up for it. From a readership standpoint, the audience is not as intense as like basketball or football.
Richard Kane next. Jason's enthusiasm for pro golf is potent enough to almost get me to care enough to watch. But I'm wondering, how much golf do you play, and what is your handicap, and what are some of your favorite courses to play? I got to say, I don't keep score, so I don't really know.
At all? Really?
No.
Jesus.
I don't. I honestly, I like to practice. Like, I have a little chipping area in the backyard out in Ovid there, so I like to, honestly, that is like my happy spot. That little chipping spot out back. Have the Tigers game on outside on the deck. So I honestly haven't been playing as much as I did last summer, but I definitely.
What was your score the last time you kept score?
I don't know. I haven't, because my friend Jordan, my Michigan friend Jordan, ended up getting me golf clubs as a wedding gift. Really nice golf clubs. So I started playing in 2022, starting getting really back into it. Right. I took like 10 years in between that, so I haven't really. But, Hawk Hollow, Woodside, I any golf course I can go on that has nice grass on it. I'm not really that picky, I have to say.
I enjoyed Groesbeck, even here in Lansing. It's a great community course. Yeah. What's funny is you don't keep score at all, and you're probably quite a bit better than me.
I'm all right. Yeah.
And yet I not only do I keep score, I keep parenthetical score as well. And parenthetical score is like what you could have done on a hole. It allows you to sort of see what your top level would be. So
it's too much info.
What I mean is, like, if you play a great, approach shot, and then you miss a putt that you're completely capable of making, then you write a score that assumes you made that putt as well. And so you have both scores next to each other, and you add them up.
That's not what I golf for.
No?
Yeah,
Okay.
I golf for the good shots, and, I don't have to look over and go, what'd you have on that hole? 7, 8, like, I don't know.
Yeah, that's the worst when you have to turn around and you're, like, counting shots. You're like, 1, 2, there.
Yeah.
It was 3 to there. It was 4 to
I'm
there.
not playing competitively. Like, I go play with Andrew from Groovy Donuts, and we have a good time, and, like, he keeps score. I don't fucking keep score. Mr. Benjen, MSU isn't going to have everyone healthy all year. If you could cherry pick injuries to 3 starters,
oh man,
would you
I don't want to. I would say you want to go places where there isn't great separation, right? You'd say your third receiver. You'd say probably your running back and somebody on the defensive line because there's interior defensive line. That's where you would go.
Ben Jen, if you had the money to only do one of these, would you fully fund the Lansing Promise or buy and run your own newspaper?
Well, these are two very different amounts of money. Because
you a question.
Well, I would do both. I would negotiate and figure a way to do both. Because buying and running the Lansing State Journal would cost like probably 1/20th of fully funding the Lansing Promise. So that's what I mean. It's just a very, very different total. So both would be priorities. I'd make both happen.
If you owned the LSJ, what would be the first change you would make?
Customer service, pricing. I would add staffing, boost salaries. We'd cover the state house.
So go under in 6 months.
Not necessarily. I would beef up because here's what would pay for it all. I'd beef up the MSU coverage to the point that you had to subscribe. That nobody,
man, this coverage is great for $1, and then it's $79.99.
Nah, but if all of a sudden it was like, man, there's no point in reading anybody else because they've got this, and this, and this. And I would poach some people to make that happen.
You've had a dream about this, haven't you? Like, it sounds like it's really detailed.
You know how when you're young and you put like your favorite baseball, basketball, football team, you put your roster together and things. I put my newsrooms together. Yeah, I still do that. Who would I hire here in Warren?
Caputo?
I cannot say Caputo is on that list, but yeah.
Maybe 20 years ago. He's given up now. Tyler, can someone airlift the Tigers the fuck out of Sacramento or wherever the hell they were playing? Is there no roads? You can't get out?
Not a fun series. It was not.
It's unbelievable.
And you're up late, too. Like, what helped is the U.S. Open tennis was on late, so you get frustrated with the Tigers. You're like, you know what? I'm just watching tennis. I'm not doing this.
I woke up to pee, and it was like 1:10 in the morning, and they were still in the top of the 10th or something.
Yeah.
I'm like, holy hell. I can't do it. I'm too old for that. Eric Smith, what sense does it make for the Tigers not to give Melton some more starts? I know Flaherty, Morton, and Paddock are not good candidates for the bullpen, but the kid has been pretty good.
Yeah, I mean, I understand the long relief role. Especially here's the advantage of Melton in the bullpen, and he has been pretty good, is if you know you have a 2, 3, and 4 starter who are most likely, and a 5th starter for sure, but who are most likely to screw you over, at least one of them. And what I just would take him out earlier. I would be like, I would tell Melton, you're essentially a starter. You're going to be one of these guys starts essentially every single time. And so one of them, when they suck in the 3rd inning, you're coming in to do the next 4 innings. We need you 4, 5, 6, 7. And it's going to happen because look who they are. It's Mize, who's is as mid as it gets. It's Flaherty, who's all over the place, up and down. It's Charlie Morton, the one I probably have the most faith in, although didn't have a good start this time. I think that's what kind of made this series tough too. It was Skubal didn't have a good start. Morton didn't. It was the guys who have been a little bit better weren't very good.
Couch on Fire, where are we at on the panic meter this morning after another sorry run by the Tigers the last 4 games and 3 on the road with KC this weekend?
Well, hold on.
Off.
Come on.
I am the passenger.
Welcome to the Blue
All right,
Wall.
so they're 8.5 up on the Royals. The worst part about this is all my bets for the Tigers to lose the division are with the Guardians. So that's
have fun with that.
That's no good.
That's what you get.
But they're a half game back of the top record in the overall. To me, it's can they hold off the Astros, which they just beat pretty well, and they're 4 games up on the Astros for the 2nd spot. If you can at least do that and not have to play in those that first series, that's the key. I think they're going to win the division. I just look at the number of games left. Look at who the Royals and Guardians are. Now, we saw it last year with the Tigers. You can get extremely hot, and I think that's what makes people nervous. They've seen a collapse just last year. They've seen a team get really hot, and it was their team that got hot. So it can be reversed, and the Tigers have been just bad enough to let it happen. I do not think there's a panic meter at all yet. Now, they go get swept by the Royals, because that's the type of stuff the Royals have to do now. They get swept by the Royals, and that gets to 5.5, and we're beginning September. It gets a little interesting. But if they don't get swept, it's still only 7.5. If they win 1 of 3.
And the Royals blow.
Yeah, it's really
we're coming off a 3-game losing streak to the A's here, but Jesus.
They got to make sure they win 1 this weekend.
Couch on Fire, how much money should we be betting on Western after your guest reporter yesterday made them sound like Ohio State?
Not a lot.
Tell Robin that tomorrow night.
Yeah, not a lot. It's not that they don't have some talent. It's the things that I read between the lines when you talk about the number of new guys on defense and guys who have to be in the right place and trust each other with a new coordinator. I think if there's anything to do, it would be take the over on this. But the only reason I don't trust that is I also don't trust like the formula to win for a team like Western to win this sort of game traditionally was having great receivers, and they've had some great receivers, and that. Tight end, receiver, those sort of players where you can really be electric. But when you've got to rely on your offensive line to run the ball, even if you've got a good back, it's just not usually the thing that works for the mid-major. I think the line's about right. I think that's about where the game will finish. If anything, I would tell people to take MSU's over, which is like, 31 and a half, something like that, I think would be the number that I think MSU will eclipse.
David Cox, fuck YouTube TV and Fox. Why would they sign their TV deals right before the kickoff? I'm so sick of all of these apps. Have they signed the deal? If not, what should I do about watching the game since I can't go?
They have signed a temporary deal. You're going to be able to see the game. And that came out. I mean,
must have been a panic deal.
Yeah, I mean, because what they realize, and what you do is you go to Xfinity, by the way, and Xfinity will have the game, and you'll get a deal that's just as good, if not better, depending on what your package is. But that's the problem YouTube faces in any of these guys. It's just so easy to switch now. You don't need somebody doesn't have to come out to your house and reconnect or put in fiber optic line or anything like that. Like
you're going to be there Saturday between 6 a.m. and 4 p.m.
Yeah, if a service gets in a beef, unless it's one of these where every service isn't getting that channel, and that happened with like Bally Sports for a while. But outside of that conundrum, you can just switch easy peasy.
Big 10 plus his ass.
That is still true. Jay Riemenschneider, how rich would you have to be to spend $10 million on a house, a jet, yacht, car, or watch? Would it have to be differing levels of rich for you to desire that object? Because to spend that much on a watch, I'd have to be a trillionaire, and I still would never do that.
I'd have to know that I had taken care of a lot of other people in this world. Because the yacht, to me, like I would live a life that was fun if I was like a trillionaire. But like a yacht, like I don't know. I would, what I would struggle at night at like 3 a.m. when you're watching like those commercials of starving children over there, and you're on a yacht. Like that would really bug me. I couldn't do that.
That's why you don't have that shit on your yacht.
That's fair. Yeah,
I got money. I just get those commercials away from me.
Yeah.
Chris King. Mackay Frazier and Brendan Toulis were both Oregon State pledges before following Smith to MSU. Is this Smith returning loyalty, or do they really believe they have something in these guys, or somewhere in the middle?
I don't think this is loyalty. Those are guys they wanted. They recruited them at Oregon State,
and they probably like their coach.
Yeah, I mean they think they're players, and so we'll see. I mean, running backs. I think they like Jace Clarizio a lot. I would be very surprised if he's not part of this by at some point in the season. It sounds like he was a little dinged up with a calf injury, and so I don't know what his role will be Friday night. But I think they legitimately like him. Otherwise, they would have gone out and gotten somebody. This is not charity at this point. There are lots of guys who they had relationships with. You have to, and running back's a position where you can get guys in the portal, and they did. They went out and got a guy. I think these two guys have probably beaten out Tautoliver, but we'll see.
Next one from Jay. Did you hear Izzo's interview with Rothstein, or do you not listen to Izzo and Smith do interviews because it means nothing to you unless you are doing the interview?
If I'm not doing the interview, it can't be an interview.
It's got to suck.
Yeah, right. So that's not the way I feel, though. I listen to lots of interviews of if it's interesting or it's pertinent, then I listen. Rothstein of Izzo, though, is not one, because the clips that came out of there that were like news were things that he's already said. That's the thing that drives me nuts. The national writer gets Izzo, tweets it out like he's broken some news of something Izzo's ranted about, like in every press conference for the last 8 months, and everybody, Rothstein, that's interesting. It's just not interesting.
Back to the white elephant in the room. They don't want to deal with the white elephant in the room.
Next one from Jay. You said Jason Strayhorn being let go had nothing to do with him trying to get Marsh to go to Michigan, but you didn't say if the rumor was true or not. So did he try to get Marsh to leave? Sounds very unlikely because Strayhorn is a Spartan diehard. even with his son in Ann Arbor.
Right. The rumor is not true. That's not what happened to my understanding.
So he was just let go.
Well, I'm not saying there was. I'm not. Obviously,
I feel like that would be a reason.
Obviously,
to be like,
somebody
I feel more comfortable. With
obviously,
that
somebody had a reason to let him go, and I don't have that entirely. To the point that I can talk about it. But but
off the record,
I feel comfortable saying, based on the information I have, that the rumor is not true.
Steve Whitico, do you think Ruben Amorium gets more time?
Amorim, yeah.
Amorim.
Man United coach. They just lost a bad club. The thing about it is, who wants to be left in the EFL Cup games? Just more games. Like, I do think he gets at least until, November, something like that. You can't just keep cycling through these guys and signing 27-year-old solutions. Like, if you're not going to go younger, if you're not going to sign the right guys, I don't know if he's the answer, but there's been nobody who's been the answer, and that roster is not the answer. So I don't know what you do with how the coach has anything to do with that.
Next from Steve, yay or nay to the altered CMU football jerseys?
Oh, I've not seen these. One sec, Hoff.
Probably ass.
Wiggle, 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 yeah. Wiggle, 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 yeah. Do the wiggle, man. I do the wiggle, man. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm sexy and I know it. Yeah.
All right, I don't even, where are we at here? Okay, reveals brand. Here we go. I'm finding some stuff.
This is what I see.
Hey, come on, Reddit. Be better. Okay, here we go.
In every American heart.
Oh, God. I'm not finding them. And fuck
they probably
Reddit.
Suck.
Fuck Reddit. Just fuck Reddit. Like
Reddit's good.
When I do that search, that should be easier. That should be. If I'm not, you're not doing your job.
What'd you put in the search?
CMU football alternative jerseys.
Jesus,
that should come up.
Too wordy. Scotty Green's El Camino next. What's worse? Gas station bathroom that's been shit blasted, or a men's locker room at the gym where the dude is blow drying his balls?
I would go with
dude. It's easy. It's the gas station bathroom shit blasted. Like, dude, blow drying his balls. I could laugh at for days.
And that has nothing to do.
You don't have to touch his balls.
Correct. It doesn't affect me.
Yeah.
If I need to go to the bathroom, it's not good. The
dude,
other one.
A shit blasted men's bathroom can change your life. I guess both could, actually. To be honest with you, guy blow drying his balls, but either way, at least blow drying the balls is funny. Jake Hawkins next. Do you think tight end Jack Velling came back to MSU to show he can be a good player like he was when he caught 8 TDs in 2023 at Oregon State? And do you think he's due for a good season?
I don't know what's gonna. I was not overly impressed last year. Doesn't mean I don't think he's a good player, and some of that was circumstance. He's been dinged up, but he's supposedly ready to go. I'm curious to see him. I really am, because, he still gets talked about like he's an impact player, and so it's time to see it.
Next one from the Hawk. How good should MSU fans feel that the home basketball game against John Calipari in Arkansas will be on November 8th when the football team are on their second bye week?
It's a Monday night, right? The 8th. Correct on that. But I actually don't know if that's true. Let's see. No, it'll be on a Saturday. Never mind. Apologies. I think that's cool. I think, look, it's good timing for it. You get the second bye. You get that once in a while. It's a great home matchup. You don't always get these games. A lot of these games are neutral site games. I think the fact that that Arkansas and Duke are both at Breslin Center in the same year is pretty damn cool.
Next one from Jake. Rumor has it that the Big Ten will add 2 more schools and teams by 2030. Which 2 schools or teams do you think that the conference is adding, and how exactly would a 20-team Big Ten work? Who cares? Let's just do it.
Yeah,
we'll figure it out later.
20 makes more sense to me than 18 in terms of round number. I guess if you're playing 9 opponents, it doesn't make it easier if you're playing 9 football road games, although you do have these protected rivals, so 18 doesn't really work either. Which 2? The teams that I've always thought North Carolina and Texas were 2 they'd want, and that's probably not going to happen. North Carolina, I guess, more possible than Texas at this point. I really don't know where they'll go here. I don't know what Notre Dame's role would be in that, where Notre Dame will feel, whether it wants, whether it feels like it's time. It's a really good question, because you're probably not taking from the SEC, so you're probably taking from the ACC, which, depending on who can get out of the grant of rights deal and where that is, the Virginias, the North Carolinas, the world are somewhat appealing.
Next one from the Hawk. Are you guys starting to believe that the Tigers are pretenders, not contenders, Getting swept by the last place Athletics. Pathetic.
Well, I think they've always been pretenders to some degree in terms of are they a team that ought to win in the postseason? The flip side of that is the baseball postseason is a fucking farce. So, who knows? They could win it. I mean, think about it. If this Tigers team wins the World Series, which could happen after what we just saw, sure.
It can.
Why couldn't it?
I know. I'm just saying, watching this team, I'm not even take the Athletics, the series away. I'm just saying sometimes when you watch this team, I go, God damn, they can win the World Series. I don't know.
You got to win 4 out of 7. You got to win 3 out of 5, and 4 out of 7, 4 out of 7. And you got Screwball on the mound.
You make it sound so easy.
Screwball on the mound for 2 games in those series. And then if you get 2 good other starts, things could happen. But it would also be a farce. It would be time for baseball to shrink its regular season down to 6 games.
And finally, from the Hawk, when is the next live show?
Not sure. We'll see. Yeah. TBD. TBD on that.
How about when's the next show?
Ooh, next show.
Are we going Monday?
What do you want to do, Monday?
Yeah, we can do that.
Let's do Monday.
Do anything.
Yeah, we can do Sunday. We do Saturday.
Stop it.
Okay, Monday. Monday it is. We appreciate all of you listening. We appreciate Groovy Donuts. Go to groovydonuts.com. Place your order today. Swing them by either location. Lake Lansing Road in East Lansing, also Williamston, 7 a.m. to 1 p.m., Thursday through Sunday. We appreciate our friends at Firekeepers and the Firekeepers Casino and Sportsbook app. Thanks, of course, to Midtown Brewing Company. We will see you Monday with a game to talk about. Good show, man.
Yeah, man.
Couch in the Roof.